So last month was the biggest month I've ever had selling on Amazon within the last 6 years. I did a little bit over $400,000 in July, and we're pacing for over $500,000 in August, as you can see right here on my dashboard. Now, I want to walk you through how exactly this model works, from the tools you need to the product research strategy we use to get results like this so you too could print money with Amazon FBA. And I'll be real with you, it's much simpler than any sort of e-commerce business you looked into before, whether that be starting your own brand or whether that be drop shipping, because with this model, you don't have to run ads, you don't have to be tech savvy, and all you need is a laptop and 2 to 3 hours per day. If you have that, there's no reason that you can't get the same results that I've gotten within the last 30 days. My name is Jaden Adamson, and I've been selling on Amazon since 2020 and done over $6 million in sales. I've also been able to help 550 people one-on-one get similar results just like me. And in this video, I'm going to go over everything you need to print money and make your first dollar on the platform. So make sure you watch it properly. I literally want you to take out your phone right now. Don't put it on 2x. Take notes as you go through this and save this video for later whenever you forget something when you're going through the process yourself. But the first thing I want to go over is what this business model is all about, right? Because you only have one responsibility as an Amazon seller, and that's finding products for a lower price than what they're selling for on Amazon. You don't have to create listings. You don't have to run ads. For example, you could see with this listing right now, it's selling 200 times per month at $28.50. Our responsibility as a seller is to be able to find this from a supplier for a lower price than $28. And if we could do that, we'll be able to be profitable, send the inventory to Amazon, and make our margin in the middle. As you could see, just for example, with this one product, there are 7 ordinary people selling this product. These aren't wholesale companies. These aren't retail storefronts. These are regular people just like me and you selling 14 units, 5 units of a product, all the way up to 22 units on this product. So anyone can hop on these listings. You could get an Amazon seller account set up today and start selling this product if you're able to find it for a good price. And remember, that's your only responsibility. Can you find this product for a good price, which is what we're going to get into later into this video. The only caveat is that certain sellers will be restricted to sell certain products. But if you stay with me for the next 10 to 15 minutes, I'll actually go over on how you'll be able to bypass that whole entire process and start getting your first sales within the first 30 days. Now that you understand how simple this process really is, just find a lower price, I want to take you through the 4-point evaluation checklist I use and I give to my students to determine whether or not a product is profitable and worth buying, because without this, you'll buy inventory that doesn't sell or that tanks in price and you won't make any money. So first things first is that when you find a listing that's selling hundreds of times a month, just like this one, selling 200 times a month, there's a couple things you want to look for. Number one, you want to make sure that your ROI is at least 20 to 30%. You could use an app called Seller's Amp, and we'll get into the tools and software that I use a little bit later in this video. But Seller's Amp is a profit calculator that tells us how much fees we're going to be paying Amazon, and it will also tell us our profitability on the ASIN before we ever buy it. So you can see with this product, I found it for $13.50 from a supplier, and this product would make me a 37% ROI. You want to make sure that this is at least a bare minimum of 20% when buying anything. So that's going to be the first thing you check for. The second thing is you want to make sure that the buy box is stable. Understand that pricing is dynamic on Amazon, meaning that pricing can change every 15 minutes on a listing. You could see, for example, in June 16th, this product was selling for $26.17, but now it's selling for $28.50. We could zoom out to the last year and you could see that pricing has been changing on this product over the last couple months. Now, you may be wondering, well, Jay, like what determines whether or not pricing changes? And it's all about supply and demand. This line right here, this new offer count, will show you how much supply is on a ASIN. You can see right now at the time of recording that there's currently 9 sellers on this listing. But when there was 28 sellers on the listing in April, the price was a lot lower. So understand that the lower the offer count, the higher the price point, and your responsibility when determining whether a product is good or not is just making sure this price point is stable. I could see on this product over the last 3 months that the product has been consistently selling around $26 all the way up to $28. And then I would just check my sales price like, hey, best case scenarios, I sell it out at $28. Worst case, supply increases, price decreases. I have to sell for $26, but I'm still making a 20% ROI. So that's the second thing you want to check on a listing is the buy box price stable and what is the supply and demand? For me, I'm never buying inventory that is spiking in offer count. So if you look at this product right here, like during this time period, where the offer count was increasing, it was selling for $36. And as the offer count started increasing to over 30 sellers, the price point dropped all the way to $29, right? So I'm never buying a product that's increasing in offer count. That's the first thing you want to look at. You just want to see a very stable offer count, or you want to see the offer count declining because that means that price is going to maintain where it's at right now, or the price is going to increase, which is what we want. So these are going to be the two main things you look at on a listing to determine whether or not it's going to be a good purchase. The last thing is just going to be your risk to reward. So look at the last 90 days and look at the lowest price, just how we did here. The lowest price on this ASIN is around $25.99. So like I said, my worst case scenario on this ASIN is to make a 21% ROI, a $3 profit per unit after all fees, after everything's said and done, product already sells, right? My best case scenario is to sell it at the current price point right now at $28 and make a $5 profit per unit. So you want to calculate your risk to reward, and your risk to reward is just determine what your tolerance is for risk. For me personally, I never want to make under 10% on an ASIN. So I'm going to make sure that my risk to reward on the last 90 days is set to that 10% mark. For example, if this product we saw that in the last 90 days, this dropped to $21, that the risk to reward wouldn't make sense for me. I wouldn't want to go invest my capital in a product that has the potential to lose $1.30 to potentially make a $5 profit, right? That bet wouldn't make sense to me. So that's going to be the third thing you check. And then the last thing you just need to check on ASIN is real simple, right? Is coming to the data, going to buy box statistics and making sure that the buy box is equally getting shared to multiple sellers. Now, we could create a whole entire video on how does buy box get shared, but as a beginner just trying to get your first sale, all you need to know is that if the buy box is rotating and it's being shared across multiple sellers, you're going to get an equal amount of distribution of the total sales volume on a product. So if there's, for example, 10 sellers on a listing at this current moment, and there's 200 sales a month, then we could presume that we'll be able to sell around 20 to 30 units within a month if we were to hop on this listing as a seller. So these are going to be the 4 things you need to check to see whether or not something is profitable. If one of the 4 evaluation checkpoint fails, do not proceed with that product or else you will lose money. So again, save this video so you're not in a position where you're buying inventory that's bad. And if you want me to personally check the products you're buying, there's a link down below. You could apply to work with me one-on-one. If not, no worries. But if so, and you want that hands-on support, apply down below and see if we're a good fit. Now, the third thing I want to get into is what are the software and the tools I use to run a business that's doing almost $500,000 a month. And to put simply, there's only 2 tools that you need. The first one is going to be Keepa. Right now, Keepa is going to show you this price history. It's going to show you the supply and demand on a listing, and it's going to show you whether or not you're going to be profitable in a long term on a specific product. Keepa is going to be around $20 a month. You have to sign up for the pro version. It's a non-negotiable. You can't get started with this business without this software. I stress that so much, right? If you start this business without the software, you will lose money, mark my words. The second software you need is going to be called Sellers Amp. The links are all going to be in the description down below. Now, what Sellers Amp does is it's a profit calculator. It tells you specifically how much you're going to be paying Amazon when this product sells. So we could see, for example, that I'm going to be paying Amazon almost $10 per unit when this product sells. It'll also show me how much it costs to ship to Amazon. So I'm never in a position where I buy inventory, but I don't know how much money I'm actually going to make from a product. Again, if you don't have this software, you're just going to be going in blind. So these are really going to be the tools you need. The third software is going to be Boxum. Now, this is completely optional. This will track your profit and loss on your Amazon storefront. So it'll tell you, hey, on the $17,000 you did in sales, you only made $3,000 gross profit. That's why I show you guys this, because I'm not making no $17K a day. I'm making $3,000 a day. That's great, but it's not $17K a day, right? A lot of people will go flex their sales. I'm trying to be as transparent as possible. Additionally, this software is also going to help you get around the gating, get around the restrictions that I was talking about at the beginning of this video. But again, we'll dive into how to use that and how to get around those restrictions so you could get sales as quickly as possible. Now that you have those tools set up, the next thing you have to understand is the basic product research strategy process. I want to premise this. When it comes to selling on Amazon, it's not about finding a winning product. It's about following a strategy that generates you consistent results. So the product research process that I would recommend to anyone starting this business is going to be reverse product sourcing and stacking it with a Boxum strategy to determine what products are approved and what products aren't approved, so you don't waste your time looking at inventory you're restricted to sell at the start. Now, how this strategy works is you're going to find a product that is already selling on the marketplace. If you made it this far in the video, you could use this product right here that I just found. From there, you're going to come to Buy Box Statistics, and you're going to see all the sellers within the last 180 days that have sold this product, and you're going to filter this by review count. So if you're a beginner, you want to look at sellers with lower amount of reviews. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up my Keep It tab, and then I'm going to proceed to Pro. I'm going to go to Product Finder, and I'm going to input certain filters. Now, this filters out a product criteria list, so I'm not seeing products that just don't sell on the site. So what you're going to want to do, you could just copy my filters. We could do a sales rank from $250,000. We're going to do a new price to a bare minimum of $25. We're going to come down here and we're going to do a new offer count of at least 5 from 5. We're going to do buy box seller to third party. We're going to do buy box percentage top seller to 70%. This is going to literally remove all the products that don't have buy box rotation. So you don't even have to check that. And then the last thing we're going to do here is that we're going to input our seller IDs right here. So how we're going to do that is we're going to go back to our listing, and where it says seller IDs right here, you're going to want to input this. Now, if you don't see seller IDs on your Keepa, all you got to do is go to configure columns, find columns, and turn on ID. It's going to be right here. So you turn that on, right? You get your ID. We're going to copy it, we're going to put it, and then we're going to put a comma, and we're going to do this until we have a couple hundred products in our storefront. So we're going to proceed with doing this right now. Okay, now that we have 64 products, again, you could do this until you have 20 products or 200 products, just depending on how long you're going to spend doing product research. But now that we have our products that match these filters, all we're going to do is press find products. And this is where the important strategy comes in. So you're not in a position where you're looking at restricted inventory. All you have to do is press export this file, and you're going to export it as an Excel file. Now this file is then going to download, and then all we're going to have to do is go to Boxum. Now from Boxum, all we have to do is just go to this button right here, which is called Bulk Ungate. And what we're going to do is we're going to take our spreadsheet of all these ASINs, right? We're going to copy this list of ASINs, our 65 ASINs, and then we're going to put it into Boxum, and then we're going to press check ASINs. And what this is going to do is it's going to show you what products you're approved to sell, which is going to be ungated, and then what products you're gated to sell, which is going to be gated or restriction. Now, when it comes to selling on Amazon, at the start, if you're under 30K a month with your storefront, it's a non-negotiable to only source ungated products, because again, that's going to be how you get your sales as quickly as possible. Once you have this list, right, you're going to start taking your ASINs, you're going to come to Sellers Amp. So I'm going to log into Sellers Amp right now, and then I'm going to start sourcing my ASINs. When we're at this point, you can see this is actually an ASIN we've already looked up before. When we're at this point, there's a couple things I'm going to look at. So the first thing is going to be, is the offer count spiking, right? So you can see in this case, the offer count spiking. This product in the last 3 months went from 19 to 45. So this wouldn't be a product that I would look at because it doesn't meet my 4-point evaluation process. The second thing you're also going to look at is the brand on the listing. So is Honeywell on the listing? You could see that they're not on the listing here. And then the last thing, I'll just give you guys a quick tip, is you don't want to compete with Amazon. So you can see how Amazon started hopping on this listing and tanked price. I don't want to touch listings where Amazon's on. So with this product, I'm just going to move on to the next one until I find something that meets that 4-point evaluation process. So we could see with this product, again, this is another product that we searched up before. We could see that the offer count is pretty stable. It's actually decreasing, which is good. It's not stable, it's decreasing, which is good, which means price is going to increase. As you could see here, price went from $72 all the way up to $80. The second thing is the brand on the listing. We could see that the brand isn't on the listing here. So what we want to do at this point is we just want to press this Google button and we want to see that, can we find this product for this max price? If we could find the product for $48, we could be profitable. So we're going to come here to Google and we're just going to check. We're going to open all these suppliers that are currently selling this product right now. Now I'm going to check a couple pages in Google, and you could see from this quick search, we found 3 sites that are currently selling this product. So we have this site right here. I'm just going to double check to make sure it's the right product, which it seems like it is. This is the case and the pod set, right? So we're going to add this to the bag and we're going to see if we could get any discounts. Right now, current price point is $62. If we could get any discounts, we could potentially make a margin. So I'm going to come here and then I'm going to use a couple software. So I'm going to use Cooper, which is a Chrome extension that scrapes coupon codes off websites to determine whether or not you could save money with certain products. We're also going to look at Sephora. So Sephora typically runs like 15 to 30% off coupon codes. I could dive into how that works a little bit later. You can see this is selling for $64. We could get it for $58 right here. And then this is the same exact website. Potentially, this is the refill pod, which is what we're not looking for. We're looking for this product specifically. So this is selling for $83 right now. We see that we got a $5 off discount and it's currently selling for $62. So the cheapest price I was able to find this product for is going to be $57. So you can see, like with a product like this, it's 11% ROI. It's making $6 profit per unit. It's not selling that many times per month, but you could see just off this one search that I did within the last 5 minutes, we found something that is profitable. Like it makes money. Like you could go take this product right now, swipe this product, start getting some sales on Amazon, start seeing proof of concept, make $6 per unit, probably sell 5 units, make $25 a month on this ASIN. This ASIN has been selling consistently, for the last year now. So this is going to be the process. Now, in terms of expectations, I would expect at the start, all beginners getting started with this model, that 1 out of every 15 products you look at are going to be profitable, are going to meet that criteria, give you at least a 20 to 30% on your money. And you're going to find products that you could start with. So I would recommend running this strategy for 5 to 10 hours to find your first couple products to sell on the platform. Now, we made multiple videos going over this process very in depth. So I'll put the link to the video right there in the top right hand corner so you could check that out on how you could find 30 products daily. But this is going to be the exact process we use. But if you want the more in-depth guide on how the product research works and how you could find 30 products daily, just click the link in the top right to go view that video and then save that video as well and watch it while you're doing that product research. Now, once you're in a position where you find something that is profitable, the next step is being able to prep it to send to Amazon. So I can't have a supplier send the product directly to Amazon. And the reason being is because there's certain prep requirements Amazon has in order to send inventory to them. So you could either deal with the prep yourself, or you could have a prep center do the work for you. I wouldn't recommend doing the prep yourself because, to be candid with you, I think all of us don't want to touch inventory. That I didn't get in this business to be touching and shipping out products. I got into this business because it was scalable and it was repeatable. So what you're going to want to do to set up a prep center is you want to go to this website called prepcenter.com. PrepCenter.com. And think about PrepCenter.com as the trust pilot of Prep Center. So this is going to show you all the Prep Centers that are accepting clients right now, and it's also going to give you all their reviews. Now, I would recommend only getting a Prep Center out of a couple states. The first state's going to be Oregon. You could get a Prep Center out of Montana. You could get a Prep Center out of Delaware. Those are going to be the 3 states I recommend. You could also look into New Hampshire just because these states are tax-free. Meaning that if I buy 5 units of a product, I'm not going to get charged state tax. If I was to ship the inventory to Florida, they would charge me 7% in sales tax. Comparatively, if I sent it to my prep center in Oregon, I would put myself in a position where I pay 0% in sales tax. Now it's going to cost roughly around like $1.50 per unit to ship out inventory, and you're going to put that in your seller's AMP. So you make sure that you're accounting for all these fees before buying it, and you're netting that 20 to 30% ROI. There's a couple filters you want to add when looking for Prep Center. So you could come to PrepCenter.com. You could just say yes to accepting clients. You're going to do supported models is going to be online arbitrage and wholesale. And then max turnaround time, we ideally want this within 24 hours, ideally within 24 hours, not 48 hours, my bad, just because you want to get your inventory turned around quickly. All right, so this is how you get a prep center set up. You could call a couple of these companies, go to their website, give them a call, see if that they align with you and the type of volume that you're pushing. After you get that prep center set up, they'll send you an address to send your products to directly. And from there, they'll ship out the products on your behalf. And then it's just about making sales. Like I said, your only responsibility as a seller is finding products that are profitable, sending them to your prep center to get prepped out so they could send it to Amazon. And that's the name of the game. That's it. You use Boxem to get around the ungating, and there's no reason you can't scale this to 10, 20, 30K a month within the next 90 days, especially going into Q4, going into December, because this is the best time of the year to be selling on Amazon. Watch my journey for the next 4 months, because I guarantee you that in December, we should be able to hit $1 million a month. At least that's the target. So that's really it. That's all this business comes down to. And this is the operation that we just run at a big scale at $400,000 or $500,000 a month, and potentially in the future, $1 million a month. You find something that's already selling, you run it through the 4-check evaluation process, you get it cheaper than what it's selling on Amazon for, send it to your prep center, Amazon handles the rest for you. Now, again, if you want my help and you want to work with me personally, one-on-one to get to your first 10K a month with Amazon, go ahead, click the link down below and apply for my one-on-one mentorship. And to be very transparent with you, I do not take everybody because at the end of the day, I'm selling my time, right? So I can't go work with hundreds of people. We have hundreds of thousands of people that follow us. But if you are dedicated to put in 5 to 10 hours a week, you have a laptop, you really want to grind, I'm more than happy to work with you one-on-one and see if we're a good fit. So again, just click that link down below, book that call, see if we're a good fit to work together. And if that's not something you want to do right now, no worries. I literally made a full course, 59-minute long video going over that exact process on how to scale this business step by step and how to get this business set up step by step. So again, you could watch that course as well if you don't want my one-on-one help. So you could go ahead and watch that, and I will see you on the next video. Have a good one.